Back with World Series MVP. Hear that? Yeah, I'm with him. It's quite the fraternity. You know what I mean? Like, you talk about Hall of Famers, they all get together. You win a green jacket, all the Masters winners get together. To be a World Series MVP, that's a special group. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I would, yeah. You know what I tell people, you're playing wiffle ball, and you set up situations, and you're like, bottom of the ninth, this is Game 7 of the World Series, and boom, you hit a home run, or the other guy I don't think anyone ever says, oh, and you win World Series MVP. So it's like so much more than the icing on the cake. I think most guys would agree that I think what makes it the most special is the lights were the brightest in the World Series, and you really did well. And I think that's what I'm most proud of, that, you know, when the moment was the most important for our team, that I was able to do something to help the team. So we should have like a golf outing.
Yes.
We'll raise money for charity.
I'll be the auctioneer. I'll MC some stuff.
Why not?
Yeah,
let's do
just
it.
to be around World Series MVPs. Let's talk about the current World Series MVPs that are still playing in the big leagues, and certain topics related to guys in this fraternity with you. Corey Seager, he was the 2020 World Series MVP for the Los Angeles Dodgers. My question to you is this member of your brethren going to be a Dodger for life?
Well, I say yes, just because I can't see him in another uniform. I think the way he plays, there's a little bit of a smoothness, like nothing really affects him. I think that plays for that West Coast kind of fan base. And he just quietly, when the situation's big, seems like the heart rate stays real smooth, real low. No situation's too big for him, and we saw how well he did last year in the World Series. I mean, he's battle-tested.
Yeah.
He's been in the playoffs over and over. He's hit big home runs, not just in the World Series, but in other, division or NLCSs. So I, as a fan of the game, I would love to see him be a Dodger for life.
As a fan of the game, I miss watching Steven Strasburg pitch. He was the World Series MVP in 2019 with the Washington Nationals. He was so hyped coming into the big leagues, and he lived up to the potential. He was unbelievable in the month of October in 2019. But my question for you is this former World Series MVP, have we seen the best of Steven Strasburg?
Wow. I don't want to say no, but he was so dominant in 2019 that how do you have the expectations for him to pass that? I don't think that would be fair. So, you go back to his start in the NLCS, where he was lights out, 2 victories in the World Series. It was pretty special. And I think someone who was the first pick overall, you just put these expectations on these guys that, oh, this is going to be the future and he's going to come through, and then they actually come through. Yeah. I think that's got to be pretty rewarding. It's got to feel so satisfying that no matter how high the expectations were placed on him, I think he answered them and then some.
Yeah, we were talking about a couple guys that never changed uniforms, in Seager and Strasburg. The next World Series MVP of 2017 recently changed uniforms to the Toronto Blue Jays uni, and that's George Springer. I want to ask you a question that every single analyst in this building rolls their eyes when I ask it. Is it time for George Springer to abandon the leadoff spot and move to the 2, 3, or 4 spot in that Blue Jays stacked lineup?
Wow, great question. I think the answer is if we find someone, Marcus Semien, for example, that gets on base at a heavy clip. I mean, I just envision this Bichette, Springer, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., triple-headed monster. Like, who's protecting who? Like, good luck, pitchers. You get through one, what are you going to do? You can't exhale and be like, oh, I got through him because I got another beast there. I've always liked my big home run hitters to be guys that have the opportunity more often than not to hit home runs with guys on base. Yeah. Because they're being pitched to and tough anyways. Whether you're the first hitter of that lineup or if he's hitting 9th one day, the pitcher's not going to be like, oh, Springer's hitting 9th today, let me just feed him fastballs down the middle. So he already has a track record where he's going to be pitched to with a lot of care, and you don't want him to be the guy that beats you. So I prefer seeing it. We saw it with Mike Trout. He was a leadoff guy. Now we're kind of bumping them down. Why? Because the home runs, when they bring in 2 or 3, are a little bit more damaging.
I'm loving this. I've been complaining about it. I want him hitting lower in the lineup. I'm with you on that. George Springer, days of leadoff stuff, it's over. I want to move to 2015. Sal Perez was the World Series MVP for the Kansas City Royals, and he's still mashing. He's hitting cleanup for the Kansas City Royals. Is Sal Perez the best catcher in baseball?
Well, you did your Greg's list, and it was a pretty...
it was all NL.
But it was pretty... But we're saying in baseball, so he's got to go up against all those NL catchers. I don't know if he's the best, but he's an elite guy. And for me, he's the backbone of that Kansas City organization. and they're really surpassing expectations. And part of the reason is young pitchers are really coming through. And if you don't think those young pitchers lean on Salvador Perez's wisdom, you're crazy. It's kind of like Yadier Molina. A young pitcher says, well, you hear them interview all the time. Whatever Yadi put down, I'm throwing. Well, Sal Perez has that same type of track record. And to see him, and one note that I really appreciate for him is being one of the Latin players who English is his second language, and he has a strong English accent and does fantastic interviews.
Yes, he does.
I love that about this guy because I think that endears himself to the fan base, and you really see the personality. So
he smiles
kudos
all
to
the
him.
time.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He loves playing the game.
Yeah.
The next guy, former World Series MVP, doesn't smile ever. I don't think he's ever smiled. Madison Bumgarner, his nickname is Mad Bum for a reason, is the 2014 World Series MVP. Will he be changing uniforms at the end of the year? What do you think?
Wow. Well, let's go back to his MVP performance because I think it was maybe top 3 pitching performances in the World Series.
Totally.
I mean, 1 day rest, no days rest, whatever he did, it was outstanding to watch. I think the contract is an issue for teams to pick him up. I know the velo's down a little bit. He's actually had 3 real nice starts, his last 3 starts. But someone who picks him up is going to swallow 3.5 years. And I think that plays. So, I don't know. I'm never going to say never, but hey, if the better he pitches, the more valuable he becomes. And I don't care how deep you are, every team wants more pitching.
And at the moment, the Diamondbacks are 15-14, over 500, still in the mix. I want to end with the 2012 World Series MVP, the Panda, Pablo Sandoval. Are we looking at the best pinch hitter in baseball right now?
Well, the fact that he has about 9 at-bats on the season and 3 of them are home runs, yes, this is the best pinch hitter in baseball.
Also a switch hitter.
But you know, what a great piece of a puzzle to have on a team like the Braves, especially in National League. Obviously, the pinch hitter is used a lot more often. To have a guy who's savvy enough to understand the situation and can pop you one out of the park. I mean, is he going to keep this pace up 3 a month? I don't think so. But he can hit you 6 or 7. And it doesn't have to be a home run. He's going to give you a quality at-bat. And I think guys like that have been around and kind of have accepted that role, I think can really flourish in that role and then teach other guys, you know, what to do at that position, you know. So he's an asset. I know he gets maybe 1 AB a game. We'll get a spot start, you know, once every 3 weeks. But he's a true asset to the Atlanta Braves.